What's up, all you money makers? Welcome to Creating for Money. I'm your host, Billy Thorpe, and on today's episode, we're going to be answering the question, what is an NFT? How do they work? How do you buy them? How do you get a wallet? All those fun things. I got my friend Chris Giles on the show today, and I've been promising I'm going to do some interviews on this show, and so I'm really excited to introduce interviews, but also video. So I'm now going to be adding a video element to this show as well, Creating for Money. So I'm going to link it in the show notes if you're listening to this episode, and if you want to watch the video, it's going to be on there. So go do that. I don't know if I'm going to do it for everything. Maybe I'll just do it for interviews, and then I'll keep solo stuff just audio only, or I might just do them all. Who knows? But anyway, today's episode is awesome. I learned a lot about NFTs, and I ask all these questions from the perspective of a normie. And if you don't know what that is, stay tuned. You're going to learn. And then also check out Chris's Discord and his community. It's all linked in the show notes. He'll tell you more about it in this episode. All right, Chris P. Giles, welcome to the show, man. Good to have you. How are you doing today, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, bro. Doing great, man. Finally, I'm just, bro, excited to be here, man. I know we talked about this for a long time coming, so excited to have the convo, man.
Yeah, man, it's exciting because actually I don't know if you know this or not, but you're actually my very first interview on the Creating for Money podcast. So I'm excited. It's going to be the first YouTube video, all that fun stuff. But man, I know you are a content creator of many hyphens in there, from live streamer and DJ to producer, music producer, podcast producer. And we can kind of get into some of that stuff. But here recently, I've been in your Discord channel or your Discord server, and dude, you're just like on top of some NFTs. And so that's why, we could talk about a million things as content creators, but I think you got your thumb on NFTs right now at a high level. And so I wanted to bring you on and just kind of pick your brain, man, because I'm what they would call a normie. I believe I've heard this term thrown around.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So maybe that's my first question. What is a normie? And am I a normie? I don't want to be a normie.
We're all normies till we cross over the burning sand, right? To buy an NFT.
Okay, so if we haven't bought one, we're like normies, or if we're not educated enough. Okay, so you're gonna take me from normie to what? What's the next level up?
Hey, bro, we're just going full in, man. We're gonna call you whatever market we get you into, whether it's a giraffe or an ape or something, man. We're gonna get you into something, man.
All right, cool. Well, I'm excited, man. Well, so Chris, thanks again for being on. So I guess my first question for people who are listening to this and they're going, WTF is an NFT. So that's my first question. What exactly is an NFT? I know it's a non-fungible token, but can you break that down for us just a little bit more?
Yeah, man. So the way I like to think of it, the way I like to simplify it, right? Non-fungible token, it's basically a digital asset that, if you're familiar with what blockchain is just decentralized information. It's not held by any one company or one government or anything. And so an NFT is just a digital token saved on that market, and it can be verified down the line. When you jump into NFTs, the simple way I always tell everybody, think about whatever you collect, whatever that thing is you like, the mugs, the Pokemon cards, the Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I've been a sports card collector and digital cards or regular cards for so long. An NFT is literally a digital version of those types of things in its simplest form. So that's how I would describe that.
Okay, so it's like a digital collectible that and I guess similar to other collectibles. So say if there's like Hot Wheels is something that my family and I have collected. We used to go out on Friday night and spend the 99 cents and get the Hot Wheels car. And so I guess there's only a limited amount of certain editions of those with certain wheels and all this other kind of stuff. So that is similar. In this situation, if somebody created an NFT, they would put maybe just like a count on it, like 5,000 or 10,000 available to drive that value up. Is that kind of what people are doing?
Yeah. And so what it goes into, right, is think like those Hot Wheels, right? Whatever the hottest Hot Wheel is that nobody, the exclusive that's $100,000 somebody's going to pay for, right? The only difference that an NFT does is the NFT makes it verifiable, right? The car, you can look at it and there's companies that, verify it, right? But they're doing it off of hoping like, well, it looks metal. It looks like the paint's right. It looks like this, right?
Oh, gotcha.
The NFT on the blockchain, it's verified. There's no way that you can lie. You can't change it. You can't call it anything. It is what it is.
Okay, gotcha. So instead of just saying, hey, here's this authentic piece of paper I got with it, and then you got to go find somebody who have seen enough of those to go,
Right.
hey, this is real, kind of like whatever that TV show is where they're like, oh, let me bring in my expert, and he looks at it.
Oh yeah.
So this information, this code, this language on the blockchain, I guess can we call it a contract or an agreement that says, or what's that look like? Because I've heard all these
Technically,
terms, so I might, if I'm, you walk me through it, you explain it to me like I'm three.
Yeah, no, definitely. So the contract term is basically what you put on the back end of the NFT. And so, and we can get into it a little bit later, but like the NFT itself, there's the artwork side, and then there's utility, which is what can I do with this outside of just looking at it and it looks cute, right? And so the contract is what's on the back end of that. And so the technical thing that happens is that contract is put into what's called a block on the blockchain, and it's literally just a storage spot is what it would be called.
Okay, gotcha. That's pretty cool, man. So I'm gonna think of it as a collectible because that's where my brain is, like collectible that has this blockchain attached to it. It's in the blockchain. That's kind of like its authentication process. So if you and I went to somebody who's a creator and they're an artist and they've created all these different NFTs, say like Gary Vaynerchuk, for instance, or I have a friend of mine that's an artist and he's created several hundred, I believe, different types of NFTs. If I buy into that and then I want to sell it later, that's how people know it's authentic. That's why you hear people go, oh, I can just download it and use it, but that's not real because, like you said, there's other stuff that you can do with these, like utilities and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
it's not real, man. It's crazy. Like, and I didn't even know how deep this was, but when you're buying something on there, and I give you something, right, or your buddy gives you the art and puts it in your wallet, you can literally, anybody with the right app can literally go into your wallet because it's public knowledge. That's the whole point of blockchain. And
Okay.
they can literally find everybody down the line who's held that. So with VFriends, every single person that sold it, bought it, traded it, you can see the whole line.
Kind of like a
And again, it's
car
not going to be their
title,
name. Yeah, exactly.
like a car title or something of that nature. All
Yeah.
right, man, that's pretty cool. So that kind of explains it because I guess I don't know why they use the word fungible. I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, I looked up the word fungible and I'm like, why did you guys use non? It's such a weird word. That's
It's
like
one of those
trying to,
big economic words that you only know if you took economics, right? If you graduated with a master's and
yeah, that's why I don't know. I'm like, what is this? I'm looking it up. Like, what is fungible? What is non-fungible? So we kind of talked about what is an NFT. And then you mentioned something else that I think is very interesting is a utility. So dive into that for a minute, man. So I buy this NFT, like maybe do you have an NFT?
yeah. So me personally,
Yeah.
I bought an NFTs. I don't have one yet.
Well, but you haven't
I'm waiting
created
to
one.
watch I haven't created one. I'm waiting for everybody
Okay.
else to mess up so I can learn from them first.
All right. Yeah, we'll jump into that here in a little bit. So explain to me what a utility is, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the basic way to think of a utility is literally if I give you this digital piece of art or this digital code, right? This digital token. What else can I do with it besides look at it? And so examples of that are literally for me, I'll give the sauce, right? One of the things that I'm thinking of is I'm going to do courses or I'm going to do, community down the line. So if you have a token of mine, then I'll let you in for free, no matter how much I'm charging down the line, right? If you have the NFT now, you think of like a Gary V, like some of his are like, he's doing a whole conference called VCon, but the only way to get in is if you have a V friend. And so you have to buy that to get into the conference. And guess what? It's not good for once, it's good for 3 years. And so
Oh,
the thing
gotcha.
about the utility adds to it, right? Is that say I have it first and I go the first year, which is I think 2023, right? I could then sell it to you, or even if I wanted to gift it to you, if we're that good of friends and I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna just give you this, you can go the next year because now you have the V friend because that particular one is good for 3 years. On top of that, you can do whatever you want with it down the line. If 10 years from now he's like, hey, I'm throwing this party and only people can get in are people that have V friends, right? That's something that's not written on the front end, but on the back end, because the community that you build around it, you can do whatever you want down the line to add, utility to it. So
Okay, gotcha, man. So this is an interesting concept. So, like you said, Gary Vaynerchuk says, "Hey, here's this NFT. Anybody that buys this picture I drew while you taking a dump or whatever he does, I mean, he's wild." So
yeah.
they take this. So when the utility is first there, this is my question because I know some people who've created NFTs. They're selling a bunch of these in communities I'm a part of, and I'm kind of scratching my head, going like, are you going to be here in 30 years to do these Zoom calls with people? Because that's kind of the utility. So is the utility a part of the contract or the upfront agreement? If I pay $300, $400, $500, $600 for a NFT, is he like locked into me for the next 30 years to show up to Zoom calls? Is that how that works, or can I change that part of the agreement?
So it definitely depends on where you get it at, because you can write stuff like that into the contract. Most people will not write that into the contract. They'll just add it as a description or an added note, right? They won't put it in the contract, because those contracts run automatically. Like that's a whole different crazy, like, rabbit hole to go down of how those contracts work. But yeah, it's not even that you're tied to it. It's that, and this is why I tell people to think about it before you jump in, right? Is because you're going on the strength that the person that said it or the community that said they're going to do this are good for their word. Gary Vee has been around for years, and people are, they'll buy books and buy wine and buy whatever he says. And so
Yeah.
they're like, he's not going anywhere. And so they're willing to put that kind of money up for it, And so definitely something you got to think about when you're looking at these projects, because some of these guys aren't going to be around in
Right.
5 years,
And it's
let
like,
alone 30.
and that's kind of one of my hesitations about, and not really buying NFTs because I bought some, I own some,
Mhm.
but it's from bigger companies, like owning like a Marvel magazine or whatever, like a Spider-Man magazine or whatever. But when it comes down to individuals who haven't been around for a while, I get a little bit nervous because I'm like, man, okay, you got this decent sized crowd, this decent sized audience, and you're just pumping and getting people to buy, and it is a cool community aspect. I think what you said, like, hey, if you have this, this particular NFT or this series of NFTs, you can now come to my birthday party. You can get discount on tickets. You can get this hoodie for a discount or whatever you, like you said, you put into that utility. And I see hundreds of people who are really not that knowledgeable, myself included, getting a little bit of FOMO in some of these spaces going, oh man, I should jump on this. Like, what if I miss it? And so I think that is maybe, in my opinion, one of the dangerous things. So when you're buying NFTs, because you're a collector, you're active. I see you in your Discord server, mentioning stuff and showing off NFTs that you bought, and you've shown me some. What is kind of like your qualification process before you? Because you're spending hundreds of dollars sometimes on a NFT when it comes to all the fees and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is look. Then this is not investment advice, so we'll start there, right? But you don't spend what you can't afford to lose. That's number one. So, but when I'm going to go
All right,
look at a
that's good.
project, right?
That's good. That's good advice.
But when I go look at a project, honestly, I'm looking at who's building it. Is there utility behind it? Is it just an artwork play, right? Because there are just artists out there that there's not really a utility. They're just artists selling art, right? And part of it is almost gambling, if for lack of better terms, right? Because if you would have had a Picasso, 500 years ago, I don't even know what year he's born. Sorry, he's probably way younger than that. But if you had a Picasso 50 years ago and then you go sell one now, I mean, I don't even know what they're selling for now, but some of it is that, right? Alec Monopoly, right? He's kind of blown up in the past, 5 years or something. So if you would have bought one of his pieces 6 years ago, and then now you have it, and now it's going for 100 grand, a million, all that. And that's where you get these two sides. And so for me, one of the things, the first thing I actually got into was because you were talking about bigger companies, right? You were saying Marvel. I got into Top Shot,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
I've heard about those guys.
oh yeah, it's NBA. NBA's not going anywhere. The company Tops, they're not going anywhere. They've been around since before I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And so again, I enjoy it, but I just I don't spend what I'm not willing to lose. And so I have some stuff over there, which is pretty cool. One of the projects, I literally have no clue about the back end of it at all, but it's called Ghetto Grannies, and it was
Oh
just
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the
You told me
funniest
about it.
artwork. I was like, yo, I gotta get one. I just got to get one. It was, I think it cost me $50 total. It was like $20 for the
Yeah.
thing, and then gas fee, all that stuff. But so yeah.
Well, dude, I love that, and that's kind of how I look at it too. Like I've seen some stuff. Like I said, my buddy is an artist. He does this, and so I buy it because I know, like, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna support him, and I guess on the creator side of it, from my understanding, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you create Chris P. Giles, whatever, you take a picture of your face, you digitize it, and you go, here's my NFT, and then you have 10,000 people buy it. That's it. There's 10,000. It's off the market. You blow up, you're a celebrity, live streamer, podcaster, crypto buyer, all this kind of stuff. People are like, man, I got to have that. Then I sell it. You still get a cut off of that, right? You still get a commission off of that?
Yeah, so based on and so this is whoever mints it, right? This is where it starts out with, because that's the contract in the very beginning.
Okay.
You can put into, and I think OpenSea. I'm not sure if it's different on depending on where which blockchain you're on, but specifically OpenSea, you can put up to a 10% commission on it. And so every
Wow.
time it's sold, a V friend, every time a V friend sold, Gary V's getting some ETH put into his his account, his wallet, 10% of that sale. So imagine,
Okay.
10,000, 100,000.
Yeah, so
Just keeps
talking
going
about
up.
residual revenue. So I guess as long as you are, as the creator, building your community, because this is really what I feel like anyway at this moment, it's really about building these massive communities and
Yeah.
everyone agreeing, hey, this NFT is valuable and we're going to trade it at this price and buy them at this price. Is that pretty fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So now we kind of understand a little bit more, or I do anyway. I don't, I'm a normie. I'm a normie over here understanding what an NFT is. So now that I got an NFT, you do have to, in my experience so far, besides one website I've been on, buy this with cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
So, and I was going to put this later in the interview or these questions, but I'm going to put them before because I think you got to take these steps first because I'm still like in some of these steps and some wallets. So explain to me, maybe not what cryptocurrency. I mean, if you want to, you can jump into cryptocurrency, but like I got Coinbase, I got a Coinbase wallet, I got a Metaverse wallet, I got all these wallets and all these structures, and it can get really convoluted, man. Even for somebody like me who's techie and researched, I'm like,
Yep.
I still can't even figure out how to transfer money to my wallet on Coinbase because I was using a different wallet and then
Yep.
Coinbase bought them, and now I'm a Coinbase customer, and I'm like, I don't even know how to use this. So maybe
That's
jump
funny.
into that a little bit as much as you want to share on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, again, basic cryptocurrency is just people come up with currencies, backed by whatever the belief is. Again, each of those, same thing like the NFTs. There's some kind of backing belief. The company's doing something or whatever, so they sell coins. Um, so the first step is always you have to buy it from somewhere, right? There's a bunch of different apps that you can buy from. Personally, I do use Coinbase, and then there's a difference between Coinbase and Coinbase Wallet. Coinbase is where you can just purchase it. It's just like a Robinhood where you just buy stocks, right? Which again, Robinhood I think does crypto now too. But there's the front end where you're just buying so you're turning your cash, whatever country you live in, you're turning that cash into the crypto of your choice.
Okay.
Um, the second step is then going to be having a wallet. The wallet thing gets tricky because not every wallet works on every site. And so you have to kind of decide, okay, where do you want to buy your stuff at? So, for example, um, the big one we talk about is OpenSea, right? OpenSea is based on Ethereum blockchain, Ethereum
Okay.
coin. That's what you have to use to buy on OpenSea. The biggest platform that is linked to OpenSea is MetaMask. They have other ones, but everybody pushes the MetaMask one. So
Oh,
it's like I
I
got
think
to
I said
buy it somewhere.
I think I said
Which is,
metaverse.
oh, yeah.
That's my
It's all the
normie
same. It's all
link.
Web3,
Yeah, whatever. Like meta something.
Yeah.
Somebody takes my money.
It ain't here no more. It's out on the cloud. Yo, that's funny. Yeah, but so something like MetaMask, again, there's plenty of other ones, and so you put it into a wallet that actually can attach to the website, and that's the how we're talking about the blockchain, it being transparent. You have to connect it so that way it can transfer back and forth, and then once you hook it there, that's how you buy it. And again, there's so many different networks right now. Again, Ethereum is the biggest right now as far as NFTs come. There's another crypto called Solana that they have a smaller market and the coin costs a little less. So a lot of people are going there. And Cardano, I think is the third one that I've seen a bunch of NFT sites popping up for, and it's even less. Like it's way less expensive from a cash to from a USD to crypto perspective. And so people are trying to figure out the way to do it at the least cost, if that makes sense. Because,
Okay.
I guess I'll just say this like gas fee, right? We're talking about that. Is gas fee is essentially the equivalent of a transaction fee, and it's based on how much traffic is on that network. And so because Ethereum is so popular, the gas fees are high. And the other day when the market is falling, the other day based on when this podcast was recorded, right? The
Yeah.
the market's crashing and freaking gas fee is, 200, 250 bucks per,
That's crazy.
per transaction, right? And you're trying to get a free NFT, but you got to pay 250. It's not free anymore, right?
Yeah, that's
And
crazy. Yeah, you know, when I first heard about gas, I'm like, oh, this will be similar to like a credit card transaction fee, 2-3%. No, dude, it's not. It's insane. Like and so that's one part of it that is pretty costly, and you gotta kind of factor that in. Now, is there any websites or somewhere I can go that's just like today's gas fee is this, where you can see it rising up and down, so I can keep track before I jump into one of these communities, I get my hopes up. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy an NFT, and then I'm like, oh, it's $500 for gas. Like I'm out. Is there somewhere you track this stuff at?
So I think it's called ETH Scan, ETH Scan. I think is one of them. I want to say that's the one that I've looked at a few times. The problem with it, let's be perfectly honest. I did this the other day. I had some money left in my wallet, and I was like, oh, I just want to get this ghetto granny. I think I had like literally like 62 bucks, right? Because I was having trouble getting Coinbase to transfer more ETH and all this stuff. So I was like, well, I'll just spend the 62 bucks. I had to literally, when you open up your wallet, you can sit there and literally watch it go up and down
Oh,
and just wait
gotcha.
for the right moment. And like I didn't have enough, and then I hit the button so quick. It's like transfer, let's go. Let's buy it. This is all I'm spending. And I think I got it for like 40 bucks or something crazy.
Yeah. That's
So
funny, man. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, when I first heard about that or saw it, because I think I was trying to get a free NFT. Somebody was giving away a free one. I'm on the website and I'm like trying to get, and I had money in a wallet, but that wallet got purchased, I guess, or they merged with Coinbase. So then I had to go set up
mm,
a new Coinbase account and transfer, my Bitcoin or whatever it was over there. And then I was like, I don't know, dude, it was a big pain in my neck. So if you need help with some of this stuff, be sure to reach out to Chris because he can walk
I
you
thought you were
through
gonna
it.
say reach out to you because you know now.
No, I don't know. Heck no. I'm still like trying to figure it out. Like I was trying to find my phone, like, Chris, walk me through this. Now what button do I push?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like a pretty techy guy. And one thing that attracted me to NFTs was the ability to buy low and sell high and flip, which I know that's one way. And we'll kind of talk about different ways to make money with these. But I'm that person who I tried one time to go out my yard and scoop up pine cones and see if I could sell them on eBay because I'm just curious. Like, can I make money with this? Like, can I do these things? And I've sold a bunch of products during the pandemic on eBay and all these other places. And so NFTs kind of caught me, but it's a little bit convoluted. And I see a ton of people just jumping in there like, I'm just going to throw money at this. And so man, we've talked about what is an NFT. We've talked about, kind of how do you set up how do you set up your wallet? You need some cryptocurrency. ETH is, one of the popular ones that I use as well. So once I kind of have my Coinbase or whatever account and I have my wallet set up and I got money in there and I'm ready to buy, where in the heck am I going to look for NFTs? Where are they located?
So if you're looking for stuff that's already on the market, OpenSea.io, and sea is like SEA, like the ocean, right?
Okay.
OpenSea.io, that's going to be one of the biggest ETH ETH markets out right now. Like literally, they're doing the most volume. They have the most variety of things. That's going to be one. If you do Solana Art is SolanaArt.io is the one site that I looked at. I found one for Cardano. I can't even remember what the website was, but if you Google Cardano NFT, the site will pop up. And so that's where you go, and that's where you kind of find them. The other place to find them, honestly, and it's crazy to me, right? Is Twitter's been out for all these years, but all of a sudden it's kind of reemerged as the way that you find NFTs. Like, so you kind of on
On
NFT
Twitter.
on Twitter, man. The
All right.
NFT communities on Twitter are crazy. If you type in NFT, that's where they're going. They're not going to IG first. Like they'll have an Instagram, but a lot of them are on Twitter trying to get you into their Discord server so that you can see the project and go through it, right? And so that's part of that is going to be where the real money is, right? The real money is if you can catch an NFT before it actually comes out because you're going to get it for cheaper, i.e., me and you talk. That's why I jumped on this giraffe thing, right? Because I was like, yo, it's free. I may have paid 300 bucks and I came out with five of them. They're on
Yeah.
sale right now. They're selling them for 0.05, which I think is about 250 a piece. Plus you got to pay the gas, right? And so it's
Yeah.
like I think the first round they said some of them were going for like 1500.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So the first round of giraffes that were out. So those are
Yeah.
probably real
They
rare,
did.
I guess.
Yeah, they did like a whole limited drop. I can't even remember how many. I think he said he only did. I don't know if it was 100 or 1,000, but it was like super limited. And then they
Hmm.
just closed it. So like those are I think they call them the OGs.
Dang, dude, that's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, good for. I know who you're talking about, so good for
Yeah.
him. So man, so now I got my NFT, and if I'm a collector and I love the art of it, cool, I can keep it, I can hold on to it. But what are some ways that, and we'll do this from two different perspectives. Like,
Mhm.
first of all, let's talk about the consumer side of it. What are some ways as a consumer that I can make money with these things? Can I rent them out? Can I give people, like, can I say, hey, I'll give you access to this for a day for a certain amount of money, so you can go to that Gary Vaynerchuk party and not me? Like, what kind of creative stuff? And I know it's in the very early stages, but what are
Yeah.
some creative things that you're seeing consumers do to make money off of these?
Bro, yeah, I mean, like you said, the quickest one is always buy low, sell high, right? That's the obvious to me, in my opinion, in business people, right? Is buy low, sell high. That's gonna be the lowest. It's funny you said that in the rent out thing, because one of the funny parts was there's the Gary V. They're dropping a restaurant. I can't even. I think it's called Fly Fish, and you have to have the NFT to get access to this restaurant. And it's funny
Oh,
because
that's
the NFT
cool.
doesn't buy your food. You still got to buy the food. And this particular NFT is at like 21 grand at the last time I checked.
And so he is selling an NFT just to get access to the restaurant,
Yep,
and that ain't no food included. That's just to get
bro.
in the door.
That's to get in the door in this exclusive
That's
restaurant
crazy.
in NYC, right? Like it's a whole and this is where you get into that. The market is endless for the utility, right?
Yeah.
You can make it whatever you want to make it. The NFT is just the verification, right? Now you don't have to, I mean, just think, I mean, what's the everyday stuff we do? Little punch cards, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine you don't have to
That's
find your
true.
punch
Yeah.
card because
No
you have your
no
phone that has
coupon
your,
cards, none of that
bro.
stuff.
Yeah,
You just
you
have
show
a
I'm an NFT person.
so okay, so that's kind of like the consumer side, buy low, sell high, and then
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to evolve and people are going to get creative of contracts and all this kind of stuff of how, like,
yeah,
Chris, let me borrow yours so I can get on the stage or something.
yeah.
Something's going to
So
happen
I can
like
go to
that.
the restaurant, right? You,
Right?
hey,
So you
give
can
me
go
a
to the
thousand.
restaurant. Yeah.
I'll
It,
transfer it back.
yeah, because then you just rent that out 21 times. I don't know how all that would work or if it would even work, but that's kind of how my brain goes. I'm like, sure, I'll invest all the 21,000 up front and then rent it out every weekend for 2,000 for the next 10 years
Bro,
and just make a bunch of money
it's
if that's even
endless. Yo,
possible. But definitely
it'll
possible,
be
I
possible.
guess. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy, man. So, okay, so that's on the consumer side. Now, on the creator side, I mean, obviously, we talked about they get a commission. So if you had the Chris P. Giles NFT and then I buy it, I sell it, you get a commission. So that's one way that you make money. I imagine
Yeah.
you make money off the first initial sale as well, right? And
So it
then,
depends, and that becomes your choice, right? Because you could do the free model if you're trying to build a community and you're just trying to get people into the community, and you go, okay, cool, we'll drop it for free, and I'll take my commission on the back end. But maybe I'm saying that to get some service from me, right? You have to buy 10 of them, or you have to
oh,
invite
gotcha.
20 people to the server, or you got to go. That's one way. But yeah, the other one is the cash grab up front, right? Hey, I'm dropping it, and you got to buy it directly from us. And then guess what? I'm not even going to mint it for you. You got to mint it yourself. So you got to pay me money. I'll transfer it to you. Then you got to pay the gas fee to mint
So,
it for me.
so minting is just getting it onto the blockchain. Is
Yeah.
that what minting is?
Minting is the actually putting it on the blockchain.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
then, so, in the example of the giraffes, right? He sent us a code that we put into our wallet, but to
Hmm.
actually put it on the blockchain, we had to pay the mint fee to get it on the blockchain.
Oh, and that's to basically like register it or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Register it
that's
on the
essentially the
blockchain.
registration. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. So that's pretty dope. So there's a ton of ways. Now, how hard is it as a creator? And I know you're coaching people in this. You have a private Discord server that people can pay and get access to this creative community. But how hard is it if Billy Thorpe wanted to run out right now and say, hey, graphic designer wife, design me a taco holding a podcast mic, and I want to sell this NFT. How difficult is that for me to get into the game that way?
Bro, the side of making the NFT and minting it and putting it out there, that's the easy part. The harder part is people are missing that you got to have a community, because
Yeah, makes sense.
that's the only way that this thing makes money for real, right? Like you got to have I mean, even in the artist sense, right? I mean, you still, just like a Picasso, he
Hmm.
obviously had some sort of community that said we want Picassos later in life that made it worth something.
Yeah.
And so that becomes the harder part of it.
So, and I wonder what the strategy is, or if anybody's done this, which I haven't really talked to too many people that are creators in this space, but they create something, they get a small group of people, kind of like building a podcast, building a live stream show. I start this podcast and I go, hey, 5 of my friends that I know that are interested in podcasting, we guys listen to it, review it, share it, and then build that way and then get on social media. I guess you could do that. Like I could start it and then just go, hey, this is the long game hustle. And I'm going to hustle for the next 15 years to build this NFT value, I guess. And maybe sell it for super cheap. Like,
yeah, bro, that's a
50
lot of
cents,
what they're doing.
You know?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
gotcha. Yeah.
But that's why I was telling you about the other markets too, because that's one of the things that I'm telling, especially smaller creators, right? Is that you don't have to jump to the open sea because open sea's so big now, right? Now you're a little fish in a big pond. Well, you want to be a shark in a small pond, right? Cardano right now is trading, last time I checked, for $1. And
Oh,
so you
okay.
go on there and you sell it for 10 Cardanos, 50 Cardanos, and their gas fees are less. Solana's, I want to say it was about 200, somewhere between 200 and 250 at the time of this.
And so when you're
And
naming these are different cryptocurrencies
these are different
outside
cryptocurrencies,
of
which are
ETH. Okay.
networks. Yeah, they're outside of ETH.
Oh, different networks. Okay, different blockchains. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so they have their own, but because they cost less right now in investment, it's easier for me to say, because like you said, when you go to the website, you're at ETH, you're like, I'm trying to get 0.0197 of an ETH versus, I can sell something for 1 Solana and it's not that much. It's $200, right? And so it's some of those networks and they're faster. And so the gas fees are less. And so it is becoming very, a thing that people are actually looking at and making a big change about.
All right, man. This is all great information. So I guess my next question for you, and then I'm gonna ask you 2 more, is there anything I forgot to ask you? Because I don't know what I don't know. So is there anything that you're like, hey, we should probably touch on this before we move on?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing that you said, and I think I said it too, is when you're asking it, the advice, right? Is this isn't a get rich quick.
Yeah.
Like, don't get caught up. I mean, even in my content, right? I push out the hype, right? Because it's content. People are going to look for the hype, and the Nelk Boys did 23 million in NFTs, and everybody's like, how do I get some money? And it's like, look, it's not a quick cash grab. Like, follow the Gary V method and know that you're going to have to build a thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not quick. So that would be my biggest thing, man.
That's cool, man. So a couple of personal notes here. When did the light bulb come on for you? Like, was there a certain article or video or something that you read, or one of your buddies told you they got rich off of NFTs? Like, what was that moment that you're like, all right, I'm going to take some time out of my busy schedule of being a DJ, a live streamer, a podcaster, a coach, and helping creators? Like, when did you decide to carve out that extra time to do this?
Bro, it was 2 things, right? I'm a creator first, right? I love the whole creator economy, the creator community. Like, that's all we talk about is how to get money and just do it in your space, right? You don't have to be the millionaire. If you're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I want to make $100,000 live streaming to Amazon, right? Like, let's figure out how to build that on top of that for you so you don't have to do extra. Man, I seen Gary V talking about this, right? And he was the first one that it was like I was listening to him talk, and I was like, but it's Gary. He's on the front end, right? I've been waiting my whole life to ride a wave. Like, I want to be on the front of the wave for something. And he's talking about it, and then I see him release V Friends, and I said, my daughter could draw better than these things. And it just it just went off and was like, it doesn't even matter what the picture is, really.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else is in the art. Like, it's the community. And then what's the other guy? Beeple. I don't know if you heard of him.
Beeple?
Yeah. So he's a digital artist.
Okay.
And I forgot what year it was, but for the past 5 years or something, he's been every day on his Instagram, he's been doing a new piece. And that was his whole thing of like every day he was doing a new piece. And he's really every day.
Wow.
And they're cool pieces. Like there's, some of it's pop culture stuff. His wife was in the hospital having his baby or something at one point. And so they were literally like squiggly line drawings because he was like, I said I would do it. I just don't have the time. And so he just like made up something.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, man, this thing popped. And this is before NFTs. This was him just putting in the work of his art. And he had a day job and whatever. Yo, he went on to sell. It basically was like, you ever seen those pages that just have all the little squares?
Mm-hmm.
He sold his with all of his pictures from I forgot, it was like 600 or something pictures, and for $69 million.
What? So he took his collection of everything that he put it as an NFT. and sold one of them.
He sold that one.
Just one. There wasn't any more.
Yeah, he did other ones, but this is like the big one that he put
Wow.
that was like crazy because it was a whole collection.
$69 million.
Bro.
Good for that guy, man. Good for him.
Crazy.
All that work.
Nowhere did he think, right? Like nowhere was he
Wow.
thinking like I'm about to go make millions. He was just like, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna put my head down. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, this regular guy
Dude,
that's just good at the art.
I read some crazy article. Maybe it was in your Discord channel where this guy took a picture of himself like every day or something, and then he did something similar. It was like selling them as NFTs. I was like, that's pretty crazy, man. So that's pretty wild.
Yep,
well, Chris, man, I've loved this conversation. Hopefully people who are listening or watching this podcast episode get some value from it. Maybe I asked 2 basic questions. Maybe this should be been called Normie NFT, episode. But dude, I know that you're a huge supporter of other creators and you have a community. So man, take a couple minutes and just tell us a little bit about your community. I'm already in your Discord server, but how can other people gain access to your world?
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. Super easy. So the main community is Mastermind Life is what it's called. So it's Mastermind, no vowels. So MSTRMND life.com. If you do community.mastermindlife.com, that'll take you to the page where you can check out how to get in right now. I don't even know if I should say it, but I guess right now we'll see. Later, if you listen to this podcast too far down the line, it's going to be more expensive. But right now, for less than $1 a day, you can join in. We're talking everything creator economy. We're talking about NFTs and metaverse, Web3. We help you with e-commerce. Like it was just more of a business community to kind of help people that are in one area, maybe good at one thing, that just have questions. We're giving them access. And so we curate content to so that way they can see what's going on in the news and what's going on with other creators, what's going on in other spaces. And then we're there to answer the questions. And that's really what you're paying for, is the access, because the community is, you can literally, I mean, Billy, we were in community, I don't even remember which community we jumped into together to actually meet now that I think about it. But like, it's Billy can hit me up anytime now and go, hey, I got a question about this NFT project. Can you take a second? And like, that's what it's about, man, is being there for the community.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you're on this podcast right now. Because like, Chris, I got a question about NFTs. We might as well record it and put it as an episode. Record it
the true creator way.
Might as well record this. I'm gonna take up some of your time anyhow. So be sure to go to Chris's website. Everything's gonna be below in the show notes or in the description wherever you're watching or listening. So be sure to click on those links and join his community, because it is awesome, man. And you're always in there putting articles and look at this, look at that, and there's so much inspiration and creativity going on. It's super, super valuable. So get it while it's $1 a day and not 5 ETH. Okay, so
right, because one day it's going to be straight up. We need straight up crypto. It's going to be 1 Bitcoin. What is that going to be? Back when it's up to $65,000 or something.
Yeah, right. We're gonna wait till it's 65 grand, and it's gonna be 1 Bitcoin. It's not that much. It's just 1 Bitcoin. Okay, it's not that much. Just get in here. That's so funny. You guys better subscribe to this podcast before I put subscription of 1 Bitcoin on it, right? So yeah.
True.
Well, Chris, man, I appreciate you, brother. It's always fun, always a good time. I think you and I met on Clubhouse over a year ago, just jumping into random rooms, and now we're connected and live in the same state. So looking forward to connecting in person here soon.
Hey, bro. Can't wait.
Appreciate you, man. Take it easy. All right. I told you you were going to learn a lot. So if you didn't know anything about NFTs, that's how I was. I'm a little bit familiar. Now I'm a lot more familiar. So I really appreciate Chris coming on. So if you enjoyed that, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're here on YouTube, or hit that follow button if you're listening on your podcast player on your phone. We are going to start cranking this podcast up and doing some more of these interviews to get the perspective from different creators. I am always trying to figure out, how do I leverage my content and make money from it? How do I live the life that I want to? And how can I help others do the same? So if you enjoy this content, feel free to hit that subscribe, like, share, all those fun things, and leave us a review. So until next time, go out there, hit your record button, go live, do whatever it is that you do, start your NFT business, and create something great. And we'll talk to you soon.